Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to solve paper 1 of Principle of Accounts, and the year is October-November 2011, and this is variant 2. So let's begin. Multiple choice number 1. Millionaire provided the following information at the end of her financial year. What was millionaire's capital? So we need to calculate capital, and capital basically can be calculated from the basic accounting equation, that is assets equal to liabilities plus equity. We are given this following information: non-current assets at cost. So this is our asset. Amount owing by customers. This is our assets because this is basically trade receivables. Amount owing to suppliers. This is our liability, trade payables. And then we have inventory. Which is our asset, and then bank overdraft as a liability. We will sum our assets and liabilities together, take a difference, and then we will have miscellaneous capital, which is equity. So our assets would be 14,1250,1875. We will have a total of assets. Then our liabilities will include 850 and 365. We will have a total of liabilities. When we take the difference between assets minus liabilities, that would give me the equity or the capital. Therefore, the answer to multiple choice 1 would be option C, 15,910. Multiple choice 2. How does the information provided by computerized accounting differ from that provided by a manual system? So how would a computerized accounting information differ from information that is coming from manual system? The balance sheet does not include a non-current assets account. No, this is not true. This is a very important component of a balance sheet. If a balance sheet doesn't include non-current assets, then it's not a balance sheet. It's an incomplete balance sheet. The general ledger does not include non-current assets, non-current asset accounts. No, the general ledger will include non-current assets account as well. The income statement always shows a profit. No, this is not necessarily true. Income statement can have a loss whether it's a computerized accounting system or it's a manual system. The trial balance always balances. Yes, this would be the correct option because A, B, and C are anyways incorrect. Even if you don't know the answer to this question, with your limited information of A, B, with your limited information, you should arrive at the conclusion that option A, B, and C are absolutely irrelevant and not correct answers to multiple choice 2. So your correct answer to multiple choice 2 would be option B. Computer will always give you a balanced trial balance. That's how computers are programmed, or accounting softwares are programmed. Multiple choice 3. Ellie buys goods on credit from Mona. So Ellie buys goods from Mona. So Mona is basically the trade payable, and Ellie is the buyer. What entries should Ellie make in his ledger? So it is important. It's asking from Ellie's perspective. So what entry Ellie would make in general ledger and purchase ledger? So purchase ledger records all the trade receivables. Therefore, if you look at the options, if you make the entry, it would be debit purchases, and credit Mona. That is our accounts payable. We only have one option showing credit as Mona, and that is option D. So you can immediately verify whether the correct entry for a journal ledger is correct. So that's debit purchases. It meets this entry in here. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 3 is option D. Multiple choice 4. Raul trades with Christine. They exchange the following documents. Which document would normally be issued first? So it's asking about which document would be first. which document would be issued first? So credit note, no, because this is way after the transaction. Debit note, no, again, it's way after the transaction. Invoice, yes, because statement again is at the end of the month. It's at the end of the month, end of the month or year, and it summarizes all the transactions, all the transactions. So option C is the correct answer for multiple choice 4. Multiple choice 5. Zoran was given the following discounts by his supplier when he bought goods. The list price is $4,000. He received a trade discount of 25% and then cash discount of 5%, an additional cash discount of 5%. Which amount would be entered in the discount received column of Zoran's cash book when payment was made? So this is specifically asking about what would be the cash discount when Zoran makes the payment. So to calculate the cash discount, we would take the list price of 4,000 minus minus the trade discount. So basically, the 75% of 4,000 would be paid, and then on this payment, 4,000 times 75%, which is 3,000, and you get an additional. Zoran gets an additional discount of 0.05 because we need to calculate the discount received. That is why we will use the number 5% because 5% is the cash discount that is received. So 3,000 times 5% comes to $150. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 5 would be option A. Multiple choice 6. Melissa transferred $5,000 from bank deposit account to bank current account on 1st May. On the same day, she received a bank loan $10,000, which she paid into the bank current account. How will Melissa record these transactions? So this is simple debit and credit. There are three basic accounts going on here. Three basic accounts, which is bank loan account, bank deposit account, and bank current account. You just simply need to pass the debit and credit entry for this. So let's break this out into transaction 1 and transaction 2. This is transaction 1 and this is transaction 2. For transaction 1, Melissa transferred $5,000 from bank deposit account to the bank current account. So debit bank current account and then credit bank deposit account. So this would be the entry and for the first transaction. For the second transaction, on the same day, she received a bank loan of $10,000, which she paid into the bank current account. So debit bank current account and then credit bank loan. Liabilities are always credit. So bank loan is a liability. So now you need to find this piece of information in the options. So let's look at the option A. No, this is wrong because bank loan will not be debit. This is absolutely wrong. So option A can be eliminated. Option B can be equally eliminated because it's the same. Bank loan is debited, but Melissa received bank loan, so it is a liability. It has to be on credit side. So it's either option C or option D. So we will investigate further which option will be the correct answer. So bank deposit account debit. Do we have any bank account? No. So Melissa in the transaction 1, Melissa transferred from bank deposit account to bank current account. So this immediately makes the option wrong. Therefore, the correct answer to option, therefore the correct answer to multiple choice 6 is option D, where you can see bank account is credit, which meets this. Bank deposit account is credit, which meets this. And then bank current account is debit, which is this. Let's look into multiple choice 7. The bank statement of Leary shows a balance of 3,500 and the cash book shows a balance of 4,200. So bank balance is 3,500 and cash balance is 4,200. The difference is due to receipt of $1,000 shown in the cash book, but not on the bank statement. There is also an unpresented check. What is the amount of unpresented check? So you need to calculate the amount of unpresented check. You did not add $1,000 to the bank statement amount. So we will start with the bank statement amount. So we take 3,500 plus the $1,000, which is 4,500. Now this should be equal to 4,200, which was our cash balance. But there's a difference, and the difference is of $300, which is our unpresented check. So $300 is the unpresented check amount, which is the requirement of the question. Therefore, the answer to multiple choice 7 would be option A. Why is general journal used to correct errors in the ledger? So if for example, there are errors in ledger, which is very common, but the first entry point to rectify that ledger error would be through general journal, which is basically passing the journal entry. So so why do we do that? That is what the question is asking me. So let's look into the options. Option A, to avoid making alterations in the ledger, no. Option B, to complete the double entry, you can say that. Option C, to provide a record explaining ledger entries. Yeah, this is reasonable and very rational. To save bookkeeper's time, no, we are not here to save anyone's time. That's not true. So we need to select the best option from B and C. The very best option, which is very reasonable because you need to provide rationale behind correcting the error. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice A would be option C, that is to provide a record explaining ledger entries. Multiple choice 9. At the end of financial year, there was a debit balance brought down on the office expenses account. So office expense account had brought forward on the debit side. This is our office expense account. In which section of the balance sheet will this be recorded? Not capital, because capital section only records the share capital and the retained earnings. Current assets, yes, it would be current assets because it's on the debit side. This basically means that office expenses were prepaid. If you don't know what prepaid expenses are, please feel free to watch my video on prepaid expenses that I have made, and you can find that video in the basic accounting series. So the correct answer to multiple choice 9 would be option B. Multiple choice 10. There's a credit balance of $100 on Yasmin's account in Shula's purchase ledger. So this is basically telling you that Yasmin is accounts payable or trade payable for Shula. What does this mean? So you need to understand what this statement basically means. Having $100 on Yasmin's account in Shula's book. Shula owns $100 to Yasmin. Yes, this is absolutely correct. This absolutely makes sense because it is a trade payable and Shula has to pay Yasmin $100. So Shula owes $100 to Yasmin. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 10 would be option A. But let's also look into option B, C, and D. So Shula has returned goods $100 to Yasmin. No, that is not true. There's no indication. There's no statement saying that Yasmin returned $100 worth of goods to Shula. Yasmin has paid $100 to Shula. No, the statement is absolutely not saying that. Yasmin owes $100 to Shula. No, it is otherwise. Shula owes $100 to Yasmin. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 10 is option A. Multiple choice 11, which is an example of a compensating error. So if you remember, compensating error is basically error which set off. It's an accounting error. It's So moving on to multiple choice 11, which is an example of compensating error. Compensating error is an accounting error, is an accounting error which has zero effect. Zero effect. What I mean by zero effect is it sets off. So a debit would have an equal credit. The error would have an equal debit and credit. So let's read the option. By quickly skimming through the options, you can always skim through options. By quickly skimming through the options, the answer seems to be option D for multiple choice 11. Let's look into why option D is the correct answer. The wages account, which would have a debit, is undercasted by $100. So my debit is undercasted by $100. Okay. Now I need an equal credit to set this off. And the rent account is overcast by $100. So my rent, which is debit, is overcast by 100. So if you see, there's minus 100 on debit, and then there's plus 100 on debit, which sets off and gives me a net effect of 0. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 11 is option D. So multiple choice 12. At the end of the financial year, Ryan owed $200 for motor expenses. So Ryan owed $200 for motor expenses. How will this appear in Ryan's ledger and balance sheet? So this is basically accrued. This is an example of accrued expense. Ryan has to pay $200 of motor expense. Accrued expenses are current liabilities. So if you want to do 50-50 in this case, you can immediately eliminate option A and option C. The correct answer has to be from option B and option D. Since this is a liability, it would have a credit balance. It would have a credit balance. So let's look into which option is the correct answer. So the correct answer for multiple choice 12 is option B, because it says credit balance has been brought forward and then it is current liability on the balance sheet. Therefore, it meets our criteria in here, and hence the correct answer to multiple choice 12 is option B. Multiple choice 13. A business provides the following information. We have the trade receivables here, we have the provision which is brought forward, we have bad debts, and then we have provision for doubtful that we need to calculate because there is a question mark. You can immediately, you know, assume, you can immediately reasonably say that this is what the examiner is asking me. What is the provision for doubtful debts to be carried forward to the next year? So you need to calculate this provision for doubtful debts. To calculate the provision for doubtful debts, you need to take the trade receivables minus the bad debts written off, and then times the 5%. So it would be 13,400 minus 600 times 5%. And that would be the amount of provision for doubtful debts. That would be the amount for provision for doubtful debts that would be carried forward. So if you calculate this number here, you should get an answer of 640. Hence, the correct answer to multiple choice 13 would be option B. Multiple choice 14. A motor vehicle cost $8,000. The price included $36 for petrol, which is an expense. So this should not be capitalized into the price of the motor vehicle. So it should be 8,000 minus 36. The total payment of 8,000 was debited in the motor vehicle account. So the company recorded, or the accountant recorded, complete 8,000 into the fixed asset on the balance sheet. And this is an error. What is the effect of this error on the income statement and balance sheet? So our fixed asset account would be overstated by 36, and my profit would be overstated by 36 as well. So therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 14 would be option A. Multiple choice 15. At the end of her financial year, Lucy decided to depreciate her fixtures by $1,000. Which journal entry will record this? So you simply need to, so this is a very easy question. You simply need to identify the correct entry for depreciation. The correct entry for depreciation is always debit income statement because depreciation is an expense, and then credit provision for depreciation, which is the contra asset account for the motor for the fixtures. So debit income statement, credit provision with the amount of $1,000. So so that is immediately that catches your eye. The correct answer to multiple choice 15 is option B. Multiple choice 16. Tracy runs a clothing store. She sold a computer with a net book value of $2,000 for $1,800. So computer had a net book value of $2,000 and cash received by the sale of a computer was $1,800. Cash was received, but no entries had been made in any account. So there was no entry made in any of the accounts. What is the effect on the balance sheet if the error is to be corrected? So if the error has to be corrected, the effect would be on non-current assets and current assets. So option A, decrease 18, no, because the net book value of my computer was $2,000. So this is so option A is wrong. Option B is equally wrong. Option C, option C is correct. My asset would decrease by $2,000 and my cash, which is a current asset, would increase by $1,800. So the correct answer to multiple choice 16 is option C. Multiple choice 17. Which group of items appear in purchases ledger control account? So purchases ledger control account is about trade payables, So let's look into the options. No, so this is about sales ledger. So option A is wrong. In option B, we can see credit purchases, okay, but return inwards is not that, no, and not even discount allowed. So option B is wrong. Option C, credit purchases, payments made to credit suppliers and return outwards. Yes, so this meets our definition. All these three items would be found in purchases ledger control account. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 17 is option C. Multiple choice 18. Nirmal sells two products, product G and product H. The following information is available about his inventory on 31st December 2010. Product G, we had 1,000 number of units, and for product H, we had, and for product H, we had 800 units of H. It was found that 100 units of product G were damaged and were unsellable. So we have to write this off. We have to write this off. Because 100 units of product G cannot be sold and are damaged. What was the total value of Nirmal's inventory? We need to calculate the total value of the inventory. There's a rule for inventory. Inventory is measured at lower of cost, or NRV, which is the net realizable value. So we need to first decide what would be the cost or the net realizable value for product G and H. So number of units for product G available are 900. The lower of cost or NRV is 2. So we will take this for product G. This is for product G. And for product H, we have 800 units. And the price would be a lower of cost or NRV. So we have 1.2, which is less than 1.5. So 1.2 for product H. So if you calculate this, you add these two numbers together because it's asking for the total value. You should get a number of 2760. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 18 would be option A. Multiple choice 19. On 1st January 2010, Zephyr borrowed $10,000. He agreed to repay the loan by annual installments of $1,000 starting on 1st January 2011. So Zephyr borrowed a loan of $10,000 on 1st Jan 2010, and then he agreed to pay on installments by $1,000 for each year, basically. So it's a long-term loan. It's a long-term loan. It's a long-term loan. How will the loan be shown in Zephyr's balance sheet at 31st December 2010? So in this question, you need to separate out the current liability and the non-current liability component. This $1,000 is due within a year. So how do you differentiate between current liability and non-current liability? For current liability, the amount has to be due within 12 months, and for non-current liability, the amount has to be paid after 12 months. Therefore, current liability portion would be $1,000 and the non-current liability portion would be $9,000 because the total value of the loan is $10,000. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 19 is option B. And you can look at other options. For example, if you look at option A, it talks about current assets. It's taking a loan. Current assets is absolutely wrong. It eliminates the option A and option C completely. For option D, this is wrong because there is a portion of current liability and a non-current liability. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 19 is option B. Multiple choice 20, which is a service business. So you need to identify which one is a service business. Let's look into the options. Option A business which sells computers and printers. No, these are hard tangible goods. This is not a service business. A business which trains computer operators. Yes, this is providing a service. Let's look into option C and D as well. Option C is a stationery supplier. This is a trading business. So option C is absolutely incorrect. Option D, a TV and video supplier. This is again, you're selling TV and videos. So this is again a trading business. So the correct answer to multiple choice 20 is option B. That is a business which trains computer operators. Multiple choice 21. A partnership agreement states that interest on drawings will be charged. How is this recorded? So there's a partnership agreement which states that there's an interest on drawing that will be charged. Interest on drawing reduces partners current account balance. So let's look into the options. Option A, debit appropriation account credit. No, this is wrong because it reduces partners current accounts. Option B, it has nothing to do with bank accounts, so that's incorrect. Option C, that is option C, debit partner's current account and credit appropriation account. Yes, because that is how the partner's current account would be reduced. So option C is the correct answer to multiple choice 21. Option D, multiple choice 22. On 1st August 2011, the opening balance of receipts and payments was $10,000. The following information is available for the month of August. What was the balance of receipts and payments on 31st August 2011? My opening balance was $10,000. And I have to calculate the closing balance on 31st August 2011. This is receipts and payments for a club accounting, which is equivalent to cash flow statement of a normal business. So we are only concerned with the cash in here. So cafe receipts, okay, we will add that cafe receipts, $1,400. Depreciation, this is a non-cash expense. So it would have no impact on receipts and payments account. Subscriptions, we received subscriptions. So that would be plus 3,100. And then wages would be a cash outflow or a payment. So we would deduct 1,800 from our total balance. And if we do the math in here, we should come up with a number of 12,700. 12,700, yes, 12,700. So the correct answer to multiple choice 22 is option D, 12,700. Multiple choice 23. Wayne provided the following information. What was Wayne's gross profit margin? This is an easy question. Gross profit margin, if you remember the formula for gross profit, that is gross profit over sales. So you simply need to take 2,900 divided by 12,800 times 100. If you do the math, if you do this calculation here, you should arrive at an answer that will give you 22.66%. Hence, the correct answer to multiple choice 23 is option A. Multiple choice 24. Z Limited provided the following information. What was the total Z's Limited shareholder fund? So we need to calculate the total shareholders fund. Shareholders fund will include issued capital, general reserve, and retained earnings. Debentures is a liability. It has nothing to do with shareholders fund. For sure, it provides funds to the company, but these are not classified as shareholders funds because this liability has to be paid off at some point in time. Therefore, we would just sum up these three numbers. So these three numbers has a total of $245,000. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 24 would be option C. Multiple choice 25. Which group contains only indirect costs? So we are only concerned with indirect cost. Option A, carriage inwards, factory rent, wages of factory supervisors. No, this is incorrect because it includes this indirect cost of factory supervisors. Option B, carriage inwards, raw materials, machine wages of machine operators. This is again indirect cost. It includes, but these two are not the indirect cost, carriage inwards, and so option A and option B could be immediately eliminated. Option C, depreciation of machinery, that is an indirect cost. Factory rent, that's an indirect cost. Wages of factory supervisors, that is an indirect cost. So this complete group consists of indirect costs. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 25 would be option C. For option D, depreciation of machinery, that's it. But this is a direct cost. This is a direct cost. So we need to select a group which has indirect cost, all indirect costs. So for example, option A and B is not a correct mix of indirect costs. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 25 is option C. Multiple choice 26. Tariq and Fatma are paid $5 for each article they make, subject to a minimum weekly wage of $400 each. So their minimum wage is $400 a week for each person. In 1 week, Tariq made 70 articles and Fatma made 85 articles. What was the total gross pay of Tariq and Fatma? So we need to calculate the total pay of Tariq and Fatma. So for Tariq, for Tariq, 70 times 5 gives me $350, but the minimum wage should be $400. So he would be paid $400. For Fatma, 85 times 5 gives me a total of 425. So in order to calculate the total wage, it would be $400 for Tariq plus Fatma. She earned 425. There would be a total gross pay of 825. Therefore, the correct answer to multiple choice 26 is option D. Multiple choice 27. Simran profits for the year before interest was $18,000. Interest payable amounted to $2,000. The balance on her capital account was $80,000 and she had a long-term loan of $20,000. What was her profit for the year as a percentage of owner's equity? So we need to calculate the return on equity. That would be net profit over shareholders' equity. So my net profit before interest is $18,000 and my interest is $2,000. So my net profit after interest would be 18,000 minus 2,000, which is 16,000. 16,000 divided by 80,000. that would give me, if I solve this number, that would give me a return on equity of 20%. So my correct answer to multiple choice 27 would be option C. Multiple choice 28. A sole trader and a large limited company purchase identical office equipment. The sole trader treats it as a non-current asset and the limited company treats it as an expense. Which accounting principle is being applied? So for sole trader, this is a big purchase, and that is why the sole trader treated that purchase as a non-current asset. But for a limited company, that purchase could be very small in terms of all of its purchases. So they treated it as an expense. So such a concept is called materiality. So the answer to multiple choice 28 would be option B. Multiple choice 29. John purchased a non-current asset on credit. He made an entry in both non-current asset account and a creditor's account. Which accounting principle did he apply? So if you see, examiners like to test on accounting principles. So knowing about all the accounting principles is quite important. So I would suggest to pay attention on knowing all the accounting principles, because in this video, I'm not explaining accounting principles. I am simply solving the multiple choice for your quick revision. The purpose of these videos is to, to make you see how to attempt the problem as quickly as possible by having educated guess, or by doing 50-50 by eliminating choices. So this is the main idea of this video. So let's look into the options now. So the John made, basically it's talking about double entry in here. It's talking about double entry. So he made the correct entry. He recorded the purchase in non-current asset and also recorded the creditor. So the correct answer to multiple choice 29 would be option B. It's dual aspect, which is basically talking about double entry. Multiple choice 30. How should the owner of a business use his annual financial statement? So how do financials, so this is basically benefit of financial statement, financial statement, or you can say how financial statements assistance. So how financial statements assist the owner, basically. So let's look into the options. To calculate the cash drawings, no, that's not how they assist. You can always find these numbers. Option B, to determine the amount due to trade payables, no, you can look at purchase ledgers for that, or trade payables on the balance sheet, and it's talking about all financial statements, financial statements. To measure the change in bank balance, no, that's not true. To monitor the progress of the business, yes. That's absolutely, that's how it's, this is assistance. This is assistance of financial statements to owner. So the correct answer to multiple choice 30 is option D. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thank you very much.